Well, this is my third year with AST, my third summer of putting on the festival, and I am the producing artistic director, which means I select the season, do the casting, hire the directors, and also the producing part. I deal with budgets and marketing and all that fun stuff too. I think coming here, I grew up in Little Rock, and having this opportunity to work on Shakespeare in Arkansas is really special. I went away for school, went away for grad school, and that's where I really kind of found my passion for directing Shakespeare. So to be able to bring that back here and share it with my community where I grew up is really special to me. Well, that's a good question. The show is not actually done all that often. And when I'm planning the season, I always try to have a nice balance of things, find plays that work together, and also do things that our audience hasn't seen before to keep it interesting. So this was one of the ones we hadn't done yet, and it worked really well with the theme for the season, which is the idea of coming of age, of growing up, and the two main characters, the two gentlemen, they start the play very naive and young and make a lot of mistakes, and we follow them as they grow up and learn from that throughout the process. So it fit that well. And I also am really drawn to the play. I love Shakespeare's romantic comedies. There's such great relationships in them. I love the plays where he has the girls that have to disguise themselves as boys, and this is one of those, actually the first time that he does that, so it was really exciting to engage in that and engage in some of the things that Shakespeare explores more fully later on in a kind of a new form in this play. Well, it kind of started from trying to think of Proteus and Valentine, the two gentlemen. They have a really special, very close relationship, and the idea of men's friendship in the Elizabethan period in Shakespeare's time was very different than how we view it today. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to get across how deep their friendship was and how special it was to them, without it becoming something more than what is intended. And so the idea for that came to be through music, that these are two guys that make music together, and they're in a band. And from there I kind of thought of John Lennon and Paul McCartney and the Beatles, and that took us to the early 1960s, just thinking about that period. And when my design team and I started looking at that period more in depth, we found there were a lot of other parallels between the 1960s and things that were happening for people and for women in particular that really worked nicely with this play. Well, as I said, the role of women, I think, comes through really strongly. We're studying it in the early 1960s, and that is still really a period of the woman as housewife. She's not really out in the working world. She's still wearing skirts and crinolines, still very traditional view of woman. And as we move into the later 60s, we start to get the feminist movement and burn the bra and all of these changes that are happening and new possibilities for women. They start to wear pants and take a different ownership over their bodies than what happened before. And I think, so having Julia, who kind of starts the play as this very traditional woman, and then when she has to go after the man she loves, she puts on a pair of pants to do it and puts on that persona and becomes a boy, but owns herself in a different way, in a way that I don't think she's been able to do before. So I think studying in the 60s really allows us to see that. I don't know, that's a good question. I guess I would say maybe Julia, and that's maybe because I like those characters that dress up as men. It's so fun. And when I was young, I liked to think of myself as a tomboy. I'm not sure I really was, but I always thought being like a tomboy and being one of the guys was really cool. And I like that Julia gets to do that and go out there. And I also really like that she's somebody who is really open and wears her heart on her sleeve, and just, I don't know, she follows her heart. She lets her heart lead, and there's something really beautiful in that I like too. I think that there's actually something really powerful going on at the end of the play when the character Valentine forgives Proteus for everything that he's done, and the audience will come and see all the things that he does that are not so nice to his friends, and then Valentine chooses to forgive him. And I think that's a really powerful message, this idea of the power that forgiveness can have and how important it is and how transformational it can be. And I think that's a really great reminder and a great lesson that the play leaves us with.